Hello, listeners from close and far. My name is Scotty, and I am one of your hosts of the Diving Deep podcast, and I'm here today with Jon. Jon, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Scotty. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, and that is because we are here to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League, the internet-petitioned director's cut of the 2017 Abomination is finally out. It is here. Jon, what did you think?
Alrighty, let me tell you. A lot better.
I think that's an understatement.
That is an understatement. How do I describe how you take something so garbage and you turn it into beautiful? Actually, I guess it was always beautiful. They just turned it into garbage. And he took it out from the garbage. And now it's beautiful again. So,
Yeah. This is a spoiler review. We are definitely going to be talking about a lot of stuff. So if you have not seen Zack Snyder's Justice League, I would change that before you continue to listen, as it is a 4-hour-long movie. So there's a lot to talk about.
Snape kills Dumbledore.
So true. But yeah, I loved this. Words can't describe, in my opinion, how beautiful I thought this movie was. Everything about it was like 500 million times better than the theatrical cut, or Justice League, as it was directed by Joss Whedon. I watched that Wednesday night, and then I watched the Snyder cut Thursday. And so much better.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is my favorite DC movie, or possibly even my favorite superhero movie since The Dark Knight. It felt like a modern-day Lord of the Rings. I feel like that's an ample comparison to make.
Yeah.
Now, yeah. What were your favorite parts, would you say?
Alrighty, so my favorite parts had to be just any part with the new Flash scene in it was just shot beautifully. I don't know, that was very cool.
The one where he undoes everything.
Or that one as well, but like the one where he pokes the glass the glass
Yes, yeah, that to me so good. The introduction, the true introduction to this character, because they turned him into a joke in the 2017 one. And even though he still is the comic relief, he's a far better character who serves a purpose aside from being the one to crack jokes all the time.
Yeah.
And that became apparent when we saw his introduction in the scene with Iris. So.
Mm-hmm. So beautiful.
My favorite scene, though, far and away, was the Flash's scene at the end of the movie, where he undoes everything.
Oh, yeah.
I cried. There were tears coming down my face during that scene, because the Flash has been my favorite superhero since 2015. And I do thoroughly enjoy the CW show, but something about watching the Flash act in his full potential in a movie, nevertheless a 4-hour one where he's with the rest of the Justice League, was something truly special. Nothing can ever replicate the feeling of me watching that scene again. And the score, especially during that scene, the whole score was magnificent. The song that stands out to me the most is At the Speed of Force, which is the music that plays as the Flash redoes everything. And
and gets there on time.
Yeah. Kind of skipping around here. What did you think of the epilogue scene? The one.
Okay. So, I was really confused because, where's, the Joker?
I said that, 16 times to myself.
Yeah, where is he? Where is he? And then, the movie, it went to the last, 2017 post-credit scene. And you're like, oh, did we all just get bamboozled? And then all of a sudden, boom, it cuts to,
Society,
dystopian future. And
the
there he is.
Timeline, yes, sir.
And that was you had, or at least for me, after the movie, I looked up, what was that? But watching the movie, I no idea what that was. and was very confused, but also intrigued very much.
Yeah, that was awesome. People love to hate on Jared Leto's Joker. I wasn't a fan of him in Suicide Squad, but I blame the screenplay, not him. But this scene was magnificent.
It was.
Because this is the first time, like, in live action that we've seen a Batman interact with the Joker where they have 20 years of experience already hating each other. And now they're being forced to work together. And they're still on each other's nerves every second.
Mm-hmm.
And how the Joker brings up Robin. Because we know the Joker killed Robin. You know, Batman v Superman, the joke's on you. And then when Batman says, I will kill you, but with another word in there.
Yeah.
And magnificent.
It truly is. And the Flash's armor. Beautiful, beautiful.
So, if you didn't know, that scene was shot, like, back in September. I don't know if you knew this, but the last 5 minutes of the movie, the last 10 minutes, that was the only additional photography they had done. And if you ask me, that just proves that he's definitely talking to them about sequels.
Yeah.
Like, he has to be. I don't think Zack would include that scene if he didn't have other plans to come back to this franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't really add anything to the movie, other than if we take it in the context of sequels.
Yeah.
And then the Martian Manhunter showing up was awesome. Now that, I knew he was going to show up because Zack had been talking about the fact that Martian Manhunter was going to show up for years. So I wasn't shocked, but when he finally did, it was awesome. Because that was the general from Man of Steel. Mm-hmm. So this whole time, he has been the Martian Manhunter, which that made me very happy to finally see.
Yeah, that was, icing on the great cake. That
it's
is
like the 4-tier wedding cake, and all that stuff at the end was like the decoration on top.
Mm-hmm. There's a piece of resistance. Now,
yes.
How do you feel about the Superman, the black and white Superman suit?
The black suit Superman is awesome.
Yeah.
I see people like complaining about it from like, you're resurrecting the most hopeful superhero of all time, and he takes the suit of like the person, of like his enemy from Man of Steel, which I understand, but you just kind of have to ignore that and think of the significance of the black suit in the resurrection of Superman in the comic books. And I think even if you have not read the comics or don't care about them, one can still appreciate the black suit. And I think it's not difficult to pick up on how significant it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And that scene where he gets it, chills.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. All the voiceovers from both Jonathan Kent and Jor-El. And then when he takes, the ground starts lifting around him, the rocks, he pumps up, and then he, like, does the Jesus thing in space.
Oh, yeah.
All of it. And then when he finally shows up and just takes Steppenwolf's axe right to the shoulder, does nothing to him, it was chef's kiss.
I feel like that was one of my biggest complaints about the 2017 one, that Steppenwolf stood no chance against Superman, yet they made the fight seem like it was even between the two of them. No, it's not.
This did a much better job, I think, at doing that. Because we see so much more of Steppenwolf actually doing stuff, other than just saying mother.
Mother.
That's all he does in the theatrical cut.
Yeah.
He was actually a villain here, and actually a compelling one. We learned that he's been exiled from Darkseid, and he needs to turn all these worlds to dust to achieve that status again, and we got to see more of his power. So when he does fight against Superman, even though Superman annihilates him, it just feels more earned to watch him get a few punches back.
Yeah.
And I think it is undeniable that one of the MVPs, if not the true MVP, was Cyborg.
Amen.
Ray Fisher was amazing in this movie, and it just makes me so happy when you see all the stuff that's happened to him over the past few years. All his stuff was cut in the theatrical. Like Jeff Johns and Walter Hamada and Joss Whedon were all like Joss was specifically was like pretty racist on set, and then all the other executive producers were like enablers of the behavior, and then he had like evidence, and they've done nothing, and then like he was gonna have a huge role in the Flash movie, but he resigned because they would not do anything about the terrible behavior that happened on the set of the reshoots. But to see him finally get his due in this movie, magnificent.
I agree. He probably had the greatest, I guess, story arc in this movie.
He had the most complete story arc as well.
Yeah.
At the end, I'm not broken, and I'm not alone.
Yeah.
That was one of the best pieces of dialogue in the movie, simply because of the significance and the steps that we took to get there.
Amen. And his dad dying. That was so sad.
Silas's sacrifice. I really liked Silas in this one, because he appears in the theatrical for all of 5 seconds, and then he has he has a pretty prominent role in this one.
Yeah.
And then like Ryan Choi did not appear for a single second in the theatrical, but here he is with a decent role. What were they thinking?
They weren't.
True.
You can't explain anything that Josh Whedon did with actual logic because he wasn't using any. And that's the truth.
Mm-hmm. I have ice in my mouth, and I don't want to speak, so talk about the movie, John.
Alrighty. So, what was I going to say? When they do the resurrecting of Superman, it's very nice. I like it because he comes back to life. And also, the cube touching, but then it rolls back a little bit just before, and then he touches it. Great stuff. I think they should make a Flash movie out of this Barry Allen.
That's coming. November 2022. They start shooting in like 2 months.
Oh, I'm excited.
It was supposed to come out in November 2019, and they have since gone through like 5 directors. But they finally found, like this time last year, Andy Muschietti, who directed the new It movies. He is going to take the reins on the Flash movie. And he has his own script, and Ben Affleck is going to come back. Michael Keaton is going to show up as Batman because it's going to be like a multiverse story. Or I think they're mixing it between multiverse and Flashpoint, I believe.
They're doing a little 1-2.
A 1-2 switcheroo.
I see. Because Flashpoint's pretty messed up, not going to lie. When he does that, I mean, I get why, Barry Allen would do that, save his mama from Big Bad, but the repercussions it caused were just way too great. Like, yeah, it was his mom, but like now everyone else has basically lost everything.
Have you seen the animated movie Flashpoint Paradox?
No, I have not.
I watched it last night. It was pretty good. I mean, it's nothing spectacular, but the stuff like with Thomas Wayne as Batman is really good, and the cast is amazing. Like Michael B. Jordan voices Cyborg, Nathan Fillion is Green Lantern.
Oh,
and the cast is like definitely my favorite part of the movie. But yeah,
Thomas Wayne becoming Batman is part of like an alternate universe where instead of the robber shooting Thomas and Martha, he shoots Bruce and Martha, thus creating Thomas Wayne, who has I think he uses guns as well and kills people. It's amazing. Is that who Michael Keaton's gonna be?
No, they're gonna get Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who played Thomas Wayne in BVS, but he had to drop out due to other conflicts. And same thing with Billy Crudup. He was Henry Allen, and he can't do it either because of other stuff, which makes me very upset because I really liked what he had in this movie.
Yeah, that's upsetting.
And they said they're going to recast because you can't do Flashpoint without Henry Allen.
That's true.
It's a very pivotal storyline for Barry and his parents. So if one of them is not present at all, even in the reality where he's not in prison, it's just not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
I need to turn on a light. It's getting a little dark in here. Distract the show. And
right.
last time when I asked you to distract the show, you talked about your body pillows. So maybe something else this time? Possibly, potentially?
Okay. So guys, I'd like to talk to you about how I recently came upon this great discovery that Batman is still my favorite superhero, and there's no doubting that. Oh, and he's back. Hello.
Oh, that'll be a treat to listen to when I'm editing later.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, we should probably talk about last week's episode. So last week, we recorded an episode for Godzilla King of the Monsters that we had to scrap because
Indeed.
John's microphone sounded
Died.
like a rat trying to whisper from an elephant from the ground.
It's true, people.
I increased the volume by nearly 500% and it still sounded like a whisper.
Yeah.
Very tragic.
And what did I do to fix it? Nothing. It just fixed itself, people.
Here we are. Society.
Here we are. It is.
When we live in a society doesn't show up. It was upsetting.
It was upsetting. I knew that was missing something, and you just reminded me that.
Oh, did you not pick up on that?
I was ready for the society. I was like, ooh, society time.
Man.
But I kind of got like lost in like him just continuously saying like, hey, Batman, kill me, and then Batman's like, I will do it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, and then
Yeah, because again, what I was talking about. No way we don't get Justice League sequels at this point because the Joker was supposed to have a huge part in Justice League 2. Zack has revealed like his original storyboards for the movie. Some of it is really bad, but he said he's upgrading them.
like Batman and Lois.
Yeah, you heard about that?
Love.
That's not gonna make it into this future drafts. I know.
Oh, thank God, because I didn't know how to feel about
No,
that.
he know. I guarantee Zack Snyder knows. With the way people reacted to BVS Theatrical Edition, Ultimate Edition, I watched it, by the way, earlier this week. Amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoever would have guessed that 30 minutes of new footage could turn a terrible movie into an amazing one. Like, I think theatrical cut is like a 4 out of 10 at best, but Ultimate Edition, I would argue it was almost as good as this.
Yeah.
Which,
See?
yeah.
This is like two proving evidence things that...
But Warner Brothers needs to stop
Yeah.
interfering.
Stop.
Yeah, and if you noticed, Batman did not kill a single person in this movie, only like the parademons.
Yeah.
Which made me very happy because you can see the growth in his character from BVS to the end of this movie. It's like I'm pretty sure Zack has talked about this, but like Batman v Superman was deconstruction, and then this was reconstruction for Batman. And I really like that. I think it worked very well.
Did work nicely.
Oh, but what were we talking? Justice League 2.
Yes.
So, in the storyboards, he wrote a thing. So Batman thinks he's about to go sacrifice himself, and in doing so, he tries to like make amends with the Joker. So they have like a Last Supper type scene where they both recount the events of that night where where Joker killed Robin and then Joker burns down Wayne Manor. They were both gonna retell that so Batman would show it from his point of view, and the Joker would do it from his, and then just to show the madness and how they're both insane, essentially.
Yeah. Whoa. That's kind of deep.
I'm 14, and this is deep.
I'm 14.
But we're 16, so...
Yeah, we're 16. Stay away from me. Yeah.
I
Joker.
love this movie. Joker, man.
I love this movie too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, another thing. Okay, this might be small to some people, but this was big for me. What's his name? Steppenwolf's armor. Alright? The upgrade in this is not just something that you can just glance by. It is something like... It used to hurt my eyes to look at him.
His
now
whole
I
design, really.
Yeah. I can now look at him for hours and be like, that's a man.
You might need to distract the show again. I need to take off my sweatshirt.
Oh, okay.
It's getting a little hot, so I need to take my earbuds out.
Alright, John Bird merch is coming out soon. Available on almost all platforms. And I really like it. It's comfy, 100% cotton. Oh, he's about to come back on. Oh, he's not yet back on. Oh, he's almost there. Come on, Scotty. You're almost there. He's untangling wires right now. Well, I'm going to create socks as well, and beanies, and a bunch of other things that will just make it 10 times better, you know? I've run out of things to talk about.
There we go.
Oh, hello.
Sorry, my earbud kept getting tangled.
That's okay.
So what were we talking about again? Zack Snyder's Justice League?
Oh, yeah. That old thing.
That piece of artwork. Oh, we haven't talked about Darkseid at all.
You're right.
Oh.
Stone Thanos.
Except he would literally obliterate Thanos.
Yeah, he would kill Thanos.
Even with the gauntlet, Thanos would lose.
Thanos would die.
Mm-hmm. And again, I don't think Darkseid would have been so prominent in the movie. Like he was in like the advertising campaign, and Justice League 2 and 3 was about preventing the attack from Darkseid. So I don't think they would have used him so heavily in the marketing if we weren't getting sequels.
Yeah, that's another good point.
After the theatrical cut came out, and people talked to Zack Snyder, and they said, if they ever called you and asked you to do a sequel, would you? He said, I don't know, but they would never call me to do a sequel. Now he's saying, I'm not giving up hope. He's saying, I'll keep fighting to make them. And then on his Vero account, do you know what Vero is?
No, I don't know.
It's like the social media that literally people only use because he is on it. It's like where he posts his storyboards and all his stuff about the movie. And someone commented on it, can't wait to see the death of Robin in live action, which that's what part 2 is, like with the Last Supper scene. And he responded with like the emoji. You can't see that if you're listening to this, but it's like it's the one where the tongue is out and one eye is closed.
Mm-hmm. Winky tongue face.
Yeah, sure, yeah. The winky tongue, yeah. Or you can't see that. I don't know. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, though, right?
I know what I'm talking about.
So he responded with that emoji. So something's got to be up.
You don't respond to comments unless something's going on.
Mm. And with Ben Affleck, who has said multiple times, "I'm done with Batman," he's coming back for the Flash movie, and he came back to do the reshoots back in like September, October, which consisted of the nightmare sequence and when Batman meets Martian Manhunter.
Great stuff.
If he's willing to come back for that, and they got Henry Cavill back for like that one scene. Ray Fisher came back after all the stuff he's been through. That's the reason that the Flash doesn't talk in that scene is because Zack directed Ezra Miller over a Zoom call because Ezra Miller was in London at the time filming Fantastic Beasts 3. So they sent him the suit. They put Ezra in front of a green screen, and then Zack directed Ezra Miller over a Zoom call.
Awesome.
Yeah, and you don't include the Joker you don't include the Joker in this movie if you're not going to continue with that storyline with how they left it off. Mm-hmm. Because Justice League 2 and 3, the whole point is they lose against Darkseid, and it plunges them into the Nightmare timeline. That is what the movies are. Those
Will
two
they
sequels.
ever win? Will they ever win, Scotty? I don't know. Is it just going to end really depressing with just everyone dead?
Zack he's put up his storyboards. I know what happens at the end. I don't want to talk about it in case we do ever see those in daylight, but they're awesome. Other than the Bruce and Lois stuff, I really like what he had going for the sequels. And if we do get them, I think he would change the Bruce and Lois thing because he knows how people would react to that, and we get some really, really good sequels, which would continue in the Lord of the Rings epic type of movie that we got with this.
It would be beautiful.
It will be beautiful. It really will be. And another thing I wanted to talk about, this did not feel like 4 hours at all.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you felt that, but this felt shorter than Endgame when I was watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like it went by in 90 minutes. The pacing of this movie was excellent, and I think Endgame really drags at times, especially in the middle. And this is an hour longer, and I didn't feel that at all.
Yeah, this was just one thing. Did the original have parts in it or no?
Nope.
I don't think it. Yeah, I didn't think it did it either. Oh, this one's and also it cut the Henry Cavill phone thing. Where
Oh my god, I hate that. I hate it so much.
You
That'll be you and me, because the kids say, Superman, we have some questions for our podcast. That's us.
Yeah, that's us.
That's us. Except we're not squeaky 10-year-olds.
That's true. How do those 10-year-olds have a podcast? Who let them have a podcast?
Another good thing about this movie is the stupid Russian family. Thank God they are not in this. Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
I believe so.
So, the final battle takes place in Russia, in like this relatively abandoned place.
Oh yes.
It's in more of like it's not so abandoned in the theatrical cut. And there's this stupid Russian family that we cut to like 3 times.
Yes.
Who serve no purpose at all, other than when the Flash pushes them away at the end. Like during the battle. It's so confusing. What were they thinking, just adding a random Russian family?
I want to see Superman and the Flash race, though.
Yeah, can that scene still be canon?
Yeah, I want it to be canon. That was good.
Justice League, as much as it sucks, I really enjoyed that post-credit scene, and I'm glad I'm not glad. I think I'm happy we can come to the conclusion that still counts, at least in our minds.
Mm-hmm.
Because Warner Bros. Is insistent on saying this isn't canon for whatever reason, and that the theatrical cut still is, even though all the directors have said, like, this is based off what happens after Zack's Justice League. They're insistent on saying the theatrical cut is still canon, whatever. This is canon.
Yeah.
This is the true Justice League movie.
Because, like, in the end, they don't even actually defeat Steppenwolf in the 2017 one. He gets carried away by, like, a teleporter thing,
I don't even remember.
Exactly.
Because, yeah, they decapitate Steppenwolf in this.
And then his head gets smushed.
That was so good. You know, Aquaman picks him up with his trident. Superman punches him, and then Wonder Woman cuts off his head.
Just
awesome
it's too
stuff. Good. Too good. Okay, let me see. Yeah, the team defeats Steppenwolf, who overcomes with fear, is attacked by the parademons before they all teleport away.
Mm-hmm.
Cringe.
It really is.
Terrible.
Probably the worst ending I've ever heard of.
Mm-hmm. Everything about that movie is atrocious.
Like, what was he thinking? Was Steppenwolf supposed to come back a second time? Like, the first time he did nothing. They started punching him around. He got hurt. He got carried away. Was he supposed to come back a second time, get punched around some more, die, and then Darkseid's like, okay, enough with this tomfoolery, you know?
Tomfoolery. Even the scenes that were pretty cool in the theatrical edition were just so much better here. Like the one at the beginning with Wonder Woman when she saves like the people in the museum or whatever. Like that was a pretty cool in the theatrical. It was, I was like, yeah, that's cool. But this time around,
it had like the
her score was so good with like the granted it got kind of old by the end of the movie. Just every time she moves, the Amazon starts singing.
Yeah,
but like
it's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome, especially that scene and like they just. I don't understand you, Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
How did they think, oh, this is terrible? Let's get Joss Whedon to turn it to a 2-hour movie and have him reshoot 85% of it over the summer before the movie's supposed to come out, when we already have this cut that's nearly done.
Yeah. Bad. And also, I think the Amazon scream and then all of a sudden going on to the actual Wonder Woman theme song, which I think is one of the greatest theme songs I've ever heard. I think that's just beautiful, because that theme song everything in the first Wonder Woman movie. It's just great stuff.
Agreed. I watched that before this. I watched Man of Steel last Sunday, BVS last Wednesday. It came out on Thursday. I watched Justice League Wednesday, Wonder Woman Tuesday, BVS Ultimate Edition Monday, and Man of Steel Sunday. So yeah, I was right. But it was a very nice build-up. Could have also watched Suicide Squad, but I would never put myself through that again. Gotham Knights got delayed to 2022. Yeah. That was exactly my reaction. That was my most anticipated game of last year, or of this year. And they pushed it out.
Why? Why would they do that?
COVID-19.
They don't want a Cyberpunk 2077 on their hands.
Mm-hmm. In the words of Miyamoto from Nintendo, a delayed game is released bad. Or no, a game released early will always be seen as bad. A game delayed will eventually be good. And he's right. It's something along the lines of that. Let me find the real quote. John, talk about something.
Not for Cyberpunk, let me tell you that. That game's irredeemable. The Stockbreaker people are suing CD Projekt Red because of false advertisement, which they actually did. They said they would have random encounters in the game. No random encounters. They said they'd have police people. No police people.
A delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is forever bad. Shigeru Miyamoto. He's right. Cyberpunk was delayed, but it was also rushed, and it's bad.
Yeah.
They're delaying Gotham Knights, but that's to make it better.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So it should be good.
Mm-hmm. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I got nothing but amazing things to say about this movie. And, usually we would talk about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but that's next week. We're going to talk about the first 2 episodes. We were going to do that this week, but last second, I sent John a text saying, hey, you want to talk about Justice League this week so then we have more things to talk about next week? And here we are.
Yes.
Here we are now.
Mm-hmm. We are here now.
Society. Just all the love that this movie's been getting makes me so happy. It's almost a good 85% of the reactions I'm seeing to this have been overwhelmingly positive, which it just makes me so happy to see Zack's vision finally be appreciated by so many people. But the one thing I hate, do you know how many people are throwing a fit because this movie's in a 4:3 aspect ratio?
I have not heard about that.
I saw a TikTok today. At the beginning of the movie, it says this movie is presented in a 4:3 aspect ratio to preserve Zack Snyder's creative vision. That's what it says at the beginning, and I was like, okay, cool. I saw a TikTok where someone just started screaming, "What?" when it said that, and then as the movie starts playing and you see the black bars, he just goes, "Are you kidding me?" And there's these other people that are convinced the reason it's in 4:3 was to cut budget costs. When I swear people don't know, this movie was filmed to be shown in IMAX theaters. So, and IMAX is best in 4:3. And, it's so we get more picture on the top and bottom instead of on the sides.
People these days.
I'm sorry. That was a bit of a nerd rant on the statistics of film.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's my future right there. So
it's okay, man.
Happens to the best of us, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of movies, John, are you ready for movie theaters to open up?
Yes, I am.
The thing is, the majority, I think a good 65% of theaters nationwide are open. The AMC in location around us is open. The Showcase in location around us is open. But the Regal, which is very close to us, not open.
Why? Why would they do that?
Regal hasn't opened any theaters nationwide. I don't get it. Because they opened back in August, and I went 3 times over the span of 1 month. But then they shut down again in October, and it's been like dead ever since. And that like, Regals around the nation have been dead since October. It's madness. And they keep hinting we're gonna open soon on their Twitter, or like they keep responding to people saying, "Thanks, we can't wait for you to come back to us soon." But then they just tweet out like lights, camera, hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 starts shooting today, and Venom: Let There Be Carnage has been delayed to September 17th. Like, I don't care. I care when you open.
Yeah, exactly.
I might have to start giving my business to the AMC, because for my birthday I got some gift cards so I can actually see movies there.
Yeah. I think I saw Wonder Woman 1984 in theaters.
Mm.
And it was a pretty depressing experience. Not because, like, I mean, like, being there and stuff like that felt nostalgic, almost, because, like...
Wait, did you see that at AMC? Or Showcase? Or...
I think at Patriots Place is where
I'm going to believe that, but yeah. Yeah, the Showcase.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it's called? Showcase? Okay.
I think.
But, basically...
I've never been there.
It was pretty depressing because, like, you could eat stuff, but you had to be spaced out from everyone, and, like, the place was empty. It was sad,
yeah.
But I liked it.
At least you got to watch a movie in a theater. Wonder Woman 1984 bangs. I really like that movie. A lot of people don't. I mean, I guess, like, after watching all this stuff recently, I understand, like, it's so different, but I also really liked it, so...
Yeah, the only complaint I have is they kind of changed up the theme song a little bit.
They did?
And I think so. It sounded a little bit different to me, and I don't know why. I just didn't like it as much, and that was pretty much my only complaint to the movie.
Yeah. Good movie. Good movie.
Great movie.
But back to Zack Snyder's Justice League, I feel like we've only scratched the surface of things to talk about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I just loved it. Like, all, like, the little moments and stuff. It's so good. And I'd argue, after this one movie, the Justice League feels more like a family than, the Avengers ever have.
Yeah.
Like, you feel that connection between them. And I just think, I loved this movie.
Oh, the slow-mo of, like, the Batmobile.
There was so much slow-mo. Oh, my God.
It was beautiful. But
yeah.
Like,
I see people, like, complaining about the slow-mo, and I'm like, yeah, okay, it was a little much sometimes, but I'm not going to use that to deduct points from the movie, because it was still really cool.
Mm-hmm. A slow-mo of, like, Aquaman throwing his spear, Wonder Woman, Superman, or, wait, no, he wasn't there yet, Cyborg, The Flash, and then Batman's car thing. Also, they made Batman seem, I guess, realistic in this movie. Like, of course a human's not going to be able to take on these alien things, so they give him big boom boom weapons.
Yeah, he, like, does the least in the third act out of everyone.
Yeah.
And, like, it's Batman. It's like, you want him to do stuff, but then you realize they're up against an army of aliens, and he's just a guy in a suit.
Yeah, he's got nothing.
Yeah. But, yeah,
He did grab that alien gun at one point in time.
My thoughts are still dwelling on that Flash scene at the end. It's
Beautiful.
I loved it so much. Just like, he reaches out and everything stops. And then, like, he repaves the roads and rebuilds the buildings. And then, like, you watch Superman and Cyborg come back to life.
Yeah.
And I was shocked when I learned the budget for this was only $70 million. Like, granted, that isn't not including the budget from the original, but if you look at the budget for the 2017, most of that went towards the reshoots. So the budget for this movie was relatively small, considering it was a 4-hour-long epic with multiple huge fights.
Yeah, that is pretty small for a thing like this.
Mm-hmm.
Also, speaking of movies on top of things, actually, wait, no, Avatar is back on top of Endgame.
Yeah, it is.
In the box office.
I think it deserves it a little more.
Yeah.
Because even though Endgame had a larger cultural impact, no, that's actually false. Avatar had a larger cultural impact, even though everyone knows the Avengers. The 3D experience was a bit of a trend, but Avatar is what pioneered it. Like, people saw that movie so many times just for the experience. So I'm happy it's back on top, and it makes sense, because the sequels are coming out soon.
Yeah.
So it makes sense they want to market it as the number one movie in history. So I get it, and I'm sure before Avengers 5, whenever that may be, they will re-release Endgame so it can take the top spot, so they can market it as the long-awaited sequel to the biggest movie of all time. And it will just be a contest between those two to see like whichever is more relevant at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
How dare they? Avatar all the way, baby.
Marvel fanboys are so...
They're very mad about it, too.
No. And they're the same people who are mad that Zack Snyder's Justice League just exists.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the Russo brothers congratulated Avatar for getting number one, and then they congratulated Zack Snyder for getting his movie released. And then if you look at the comments, half the people are like, yeah, superhero creators celebrating superhero creators, and movie celebrating movie. And the other half is, what? You made the best movie of all time. Stop doing this. And if you think Avengers Endgame is the best movie of all time, watch more movies.
Yeah. Like, when I finished watching it, I was, like, you know, surprised at everything that happened at Endgame, but, like, at the same time, I wasn't blown away by it.
Like, I'd rather watch Infinity War than Endgame, I think, for sure.
Yeah. Infinity War is a great movie.
Infinity War is just awesome in every way.
Mm-hmm.
We're approaching the 3-year anniversary of Endgame. And I just refuse to believe that. It genuinely feels like yesterday. I was walking in on April 27th to go see Avengers Infinity War. We were in 7th grade back then. I watched the movie, and I was so emotional at the end. I didn't get out of my seat for like 10 minutes. Like, even after the credits had rolled, after like the Nick Fury post-credit scene, I was just sitting there for a multitude of minutes absorbing what I had just seen. Absorbing the fact that I just watched Spider-Man die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that was something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But then Endgame was a year later, and, man, it's just crazy. It's been nearly 2 years since that, and been nearly 3 since Infinity War, and it's been over a year since movie theaters were normal.
My God, COVID.
The Regal near us, during the pandemic, they redid themselves.
Oh.
The whole theater is redone. And it went, in that one time that it was open, it's so beautiful. The seats, they don't like recline like AMC, but you can lean back in them now. And they have huge cup holders, and the concession stand, it wasn't complete by then, but like the entrance was so much cooler. Like, it was dark, and it was pretty epic. I can't say a ton more than that. Let me see if I have a picture somewhere. Talk, John. Talk.
Oh, basically, alright, people, I love theaters. I wanted to work at a theater one time, but...
I'm waiting for Regal to reopen so I can apply there.
Yes,
here we go. This is what it looks like inside of the theaters now.
It's beautiful now.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Wait, that's like right near us, too.
Yeah, this is the one right near us. That's what it looks like on the inside now.
Okay, I'm going there every day.
It's so good, and I want to work there so bad, because I think it's a 30% discount on concessions, and free movies. There's no better thing on earth.
Yeah.
Especially if you're someone like me who wants to do stuff with movies as a career later in life.
Ooh, what do you want to do with movies when you
Anything.
Anything with movies?
I haven't gotten into the particulars yet. Particulars, so the details. But I just know I want to work in the field of movies.
Produce movies.
That's actually the most likely thing.
Yeah. I don't know what a producer does, but do it.
There's multiple things. There's two types of producers. One of them is like making sure like the movie's historically accurate, and like making sure like the production goes, or like the movie itself makes sense. And then there's the other type, which are like the executive producers who either had a hand in making the movie, or like they helped the budget, or like they oversaw the production, made sure the cast was happy, made sure like everyone knew what was going on. There's a ton of different roles producers can play.
Oh, that sounds like something fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would be a director, you know. I'd be like...
That's the goal, you know. Directing is the goal, but how many famous directors can people name off the top of their heads? Like, a lot of directors just make bad movies, and I don't want to make bad movies. I would apply kind of the Rian Johnson mentality. I don't want to make a movie that everyone thinks is just okay. I'd rather make a movie that a lot of people love, and a lot of people not so much.
That is true. I do want that. Yeah. Very smart man.
What a great movie Zack Snyder's Justice League was. I loved it in every single way. It took my expectations were pretty high already because the marketing for this movie was really good, but it took my expectations and it skyrocketed them. It was better than I could have imagined.
Yeah.
Like I said it already. It feels like our generation's Lord of the Rings. And if we get the sequels, which I really hope we do, and I think we might, I will be the happiest man alive.
Me too. It'll be like Lord of the Rings, but not Lord of the Rings, but Lord of the Rings.
The Hobbit, yeah. That's what Hobbit is.
Hobbit.
Have you seen those movies?
Yeah.
You don't like them?
I watched all three of them in theaters because to make up for the fact that I
saw the third one in theaters, but not 1 and 2.
Yeah. They were okay. I rewatched them recently and realized that they're not as good as I originally thought that they were.
I really like the first two.
Yeah.
I don't like the last one. I think it's action without substance, and it's action so there can be action and not a ton else.
That's all because in the original, you know Azog, the white man?
Yeah, I've read The Hobbit. He doesn't exist.
Oh, yeah. He's dead. He's dead in that for real, and he's never coming back, and yet he's in this.
Yeah, like, there are no orcs in the book. But, like, Peter Jackson wanted to make 2. He wanted it to be The Hobbit Part 1 and The Hobbit Part 2, which is definitely what they should have done.
Yes.
But Warner Brothers was Warner Brothers. And said, no, you're going to make 3 because we made 3 Lord of the Rings. I'm 95% sure that was their reasoning. There were 3 Lord of the Rings movies, so there's going to be 3 Hobbit movies.
3 equals 3, and that's a fact. Yeah, but there's also 3 Lord of the Rings books and 1 Hobbit book.
Yeah, why are there 3 Hobbit movies? In a documentary that appeared as a bonus feature on the home media of The Hobbit, the director and his crew revealed that disorganized production and a lack of planning time played a part in turning the 300-page book into 3 movies.
100 pages per each thing.
Yeah, because Guillermo del Toro was supposed to direct them, and then he left. So they brought in Peter Jackson, who did the Lord of the Rings, and I don't, again, I don't hate them, or I really like 1 and 2, but they definitely stretched it a little too thin. They did not need to bring in Legolas.
Yeah.
They did not need to create a new elf that played a big role. If they stuck to the books, or if they stuck to the book and made probably like a 3-hour movie or 2 pretty long 2 movies, I think it would have been much better.
Amen to that, Scotty. Amen.
And do you know Topher Grace, the actor, Venom in Spider-Man 3?
Yeah.
That 70s show. So he took up editing as like a pastime, and he has like he made a cut of The Hobbit that's like 100 minutes long. He took all 3 of those movies and made it incredibly accurate to the book by turning it into like a little less than 2-hour movie.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
I really wish that I could see it somewhere, but obviously you can't really just release a fan edit of that. And I'm pretty sure he did one with the prequels for Star Wars too. Which
Probably the second movie.
You can just cut all Attack of the Clones.
Honestly, let's do it. Let's make Attack of the Clones on.
Remake the prequels.
Oh my god, should we?
No, please, God, no.
The prequels.
You know the fan base those movies have.
Yeah,
if Disney even touched them, people would like send them even more death threats than they already get for what they've been doing to Star Wars.
Yeah, they're gonna. That would hurt.
Do you know who Geeks and Gamers is?
I've never heard
So
of
it's this
that.
YouTube channel that makes incredibly racist videos about like Star Wars. He hates everything Disney's made other than The Mandalorian because he thinks it's SJW propaganda. He's one of those types of guys. There's like a whole army of YouTube channels who think everything Disney Star Wars has made is like liberal propaganda. And they make these videos, and Zack Snyder is supposed to do an interview with him. Then he had to bail out at the last second, this Geeks and Gamers guy. So then Zack Snyder says, so I know we have a donation page set up for this. It was like this huge interview with like 10 creators. I know we have the donation page set up for this, and it still has Geeks and Gamers logo on it, but I would like to make it announced that I do not affiliate with him, and I do not affiliate with hate, because as a father of Asian children, there is no room for hatred or racism of any kind in this world. That's what he said. That's what Zach said. So then this Geeks and Gamers guy does like a 3-hour live stream saying Zack Snyder harassed me. Like, Zack Snyder canceled me. Zack Snyder slandered my name. And he was like a huge Zack Snyder fan. But then Zack Snyder says, I don't like racism, and this guy's racist. And now he like hates him more than anything else in the world.
Oh my god, it's beautiful.
It is. And it sucks, because I love Zack Snyder so much, but some of his fans are so toxic. He's literally like the most chill man on this planet.
Yeah.
But oh my god, some of his fans, not so much.
How does that guy stay on the internet when he says all of those things?
His Twitter account got suspended back in June. Because during, like, the protests and stuff, like, when the governor of Minneapolis or something came out and talked about it, he quote tweets it and saying, "What a loser, I bet this guy likes The Last Jedi." And then, his account got suspended. I'm not kidding.
That's good.
Yeah, he used to, like, harass people on Twitter nonstop when he's literally an embodiment of hatred, and he just, whenever someone comes after him, he says he's getting canceled or whatever, which he's someone who deserves to be canceled with all the terrible stuff he said. And then, yeah. And, like, do you know the YouTuber Star Wars Theory?
Yeah.
He's, like, friends with this guy now.
Oh, no.
So, Star Wars Theory, he used to be super chill. But then he just turned his channel into, like, a sequel hate channel, and his audience is so toxic, and they're, like, his whole audience is, like, the Disney ruined Star Wars type people. So now he, like, affiliates with, like, these people who call themselves the Fandom Menace, who are the most toxic people in the platform, who say Disney ruined Star Wars and we want to take it back from them. And instead of, like, trying to be respectful and go, we don't like these movies, instead of saying that, no, it's literally a hate group.
Mm-hmm.
Some of this, like, some members have done a live stream, and I kid you not, one of them went on a 30-second rant about how much he hates Asian people. And this was last week, when we're living in a time where a murderer just committed a hate crime by killing 8 Asians in Georgia. These people are terrible, and they're disgusting, and I don't understand why they still have platforms.
Yeah, it has to be taken down.
If anyone listening to this is looking for a Star Wars YouTube channel to watch, I recommend Star Wars Explained and Hello Greedo. They make some really good content, and they even if they don't like something, they say, "I didn't like this." it wasn't for me, and that's okay. I'm glad a lot of people enjoy this. But also, they respect people. They make really cool videos informing the community about like their thoughts, or like they do Q&As and just a ton of other stuff. So if you're looking for good Star Wars content creators, watch Hello Greedo and watch Star Wars Explained. End of rant about Star Wars hate groups.
Mm-hmm. That was very insightful.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it's been an hour. We've been going for quite a while, so I think it might be wrap time.
It's wrap, baby.
It's wrap time, yes. W-R-A-P. So, I have been one of your hosts, Scotty, and I have been here with Jon. Jon, what do you got to say?
Buy my merch.
That doesn't exist, yes. Oh, is that what you were talking about when I was on my adventures? Actually, don't say anything. I want to see that myself later on when I'm editing. But yes, this has been your host of the Diving Deep podcast. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at divingdeep_pod. If you're a Twitter person and you want to follow us, you can follow me at Scotty0365, or you can follow Jon at JohnBird351655518. Any last words, Jon?
No, I think we're all good.
Alright. We'll see you next week when we talk about The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episodes 1 and 2.